Korea just released their Guardian Knights, and alongside comes, of course, the long-awaited Arc Grid Balance patch, and as well a ton of other stuff which we, first of all, didn't know about, and other things that are a big surprise, and of course, some other details about the honing nerfs as well with this update. So before we get started, I do want to say there is no information or no set date on when we are getting these. These are the Korean patch notes, but I know some of these we are actually getting as well in the upcoming update that we're getting, but we're not getting all of these, so don't assume that everything you're going to see in here is going to come out next week for us as well. So first of all, guys, December 10th, of course, they had their update, so content things, there's so many things changed. They had the new class, new system overall for tier 3, early game changes, weekly content adjustments, and this one's actually really big, guys, class balance patch, and as well some other stuff in here. Okay, so first of all, of course, Guardian Knight is here inside of Lost Ark Korea. It is a very, very, very fun class. I've watched it yesterday, guys, until like 5-6 a.m. It looks absolutely amazing. The, especially the Guardian spec, like the non-transformation is crazy, and it's like 5 push immunes. It is incredible. So I cannot wait to get my hands on this bad boy. So yeah, it's gonna be absolutely amazing to see this class come to our region very, very soon. Of course, if we get the same schedule as Russia, which is very, very likely, we get it around, I think it was February, March. It was in my last video. You can check it out if you want to. But yeah, it's gonna be very, very cool. So first of all, guys, new updates, single mode for Mordem and Belshazzar. But there is a very interesting part about this, and that it is that if you're doing Mordem, 50% of the gold obtained when clearing will be character bound. So what they do with this is very simple. They just want to make it that if you are doing solo and Mordem, you're doing this for that account because you're maybe scared or it's your first ever account. But they don't want you to just be on all your alts and just roster rice farm these high tier raids. They want you to do group version so the group version doesn't die out. So I do get that it's kind of like an interesting way of doing it, but I do like it. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Yeah, I think it's actually a good change. The people that really want, so it's their first time doing Mordem, it doesn't matter if it's character bound gold, but if you're doing it on alts, it actually does matter. So I think it's a good compromise. So that is a very interesting part about the single modes that is different from normally. With that, of course, as well comes some new items in the shop. We got some very interesting things. We got ourselves books all the way to plus 18 are now inside of the solo mode exchange as well. Tier 1 and Tier 2 advanced honing scrolls on here as well, so this goes all the way up to plus 20. And of course, the Karma and the Mordem mats are in the store as well. Very, very, very good. And as well, they increased some limits on the old items, including the red and blue stones and Abados have been double in amount of purchases you can do every single week. And the reason for these two right here, guys, will be shown later, but, you know, keep an eye out for that. Now we have still, of course, the full overhaul of Tier 3. If you guys fully missed out on this, what they just did is very, very simple. They made it that if you are starting off as a new player, you can just do main story all the way to 1585. And every time along the way, you just get free gear pieces from the game, so you do not ever have to hone all the way until 1585, and then when you're above 1585, you can silver hone all the way to 1640. Very, very cool. So there's just all text explain like what you're gonna get, when you're gonna get these equipment boxes, etc, etc. And of course, what's kind of interesting is if you do the North Curtain storyline, you even get yourself the box set to go over to the next area, which is gonna be pretty cool. So what this means, of course, is that Knut's Fortress will be removed from the game, but I don't think anyone will miss that piece of content. So that's actually pretty cool. So besides that, there's nothing really anything interesting in here. It's all just the changes that they want to do for the lower tier content. Okay, up next, guys, the expanding of growth support. So what this means is that with the ease of getting some alts, there could be some issues getting enough materials to hone them. So there now is going to be a gold shop on every single character. There's a new button, this green button. This will open up the gold shop and open up the solo mode shop. Very, very, very good. So what this gold shop actually has, it has character bounds, 7 gems, 5 of them in total for 20k each. It has like some art grid stuff. It has some other things in there that are not like too interesting, but it's very nice to get, for example, 400 Oreas every single week for just 40 gold each. So what this does is very simple. It just makes it that every single alt can get some basic stuff. It can get some gems, it can get accessories, it can get themselves some bracelets, because that's what the other two things are. It can get themselves a little bit of other things as well if you really need that, and it's just at a set price. So no matter what happens to the economy, this price will be here, and it doesn't matter if these redstones normally are 80 gold or 100 gold, they will always be 40 in this store for the 400 every single week. So I do like that it's actually added in here, and it will just make things very, very, very nice. 3, 2, and 1. Up next, guys, we have ourselves the holding nerves. But I do want to say, before we get started, there is one big picture in this whole balance patch which you have to understand. So this is the hidden message of the Lost Ark Korea devs. They want you to stop rise farming and move on in content. And they want you to just go ahead and focus on the characters and stop focusing on just one main as a whole and funneling all the alt materials into your main. That's technically what they want you to do. They want you to make a full balanced out roster, stop like just funneling everything from one account to one character, okay? So that's kind of what this is all about. So let's go ahead and take a read about this. So first of all, of course, from 1 to 19 in the tier 3 upper level ancient equipment. So this is just all the way from like the 1585 until 1640. What they did is 100% reduction in gold, so it's only silver honing. 90% reduction in the cost of the ceiling for the forging stages, so that is the unlockings of the honing. And then we have ourselves the reforging stage, which is just like it's just the honing itself. So it could be the other way around, but like it's a bit hard to understand what it means. So it's either the unlocking of the stage is 60% reduced or 90% reduced, and then the honing is either 60 or 90%. I think it's 60% honing, and then the unlocking is 90% reduced, but I could be wrong because, like I said, translations are a little bit icky, but, you know, it's still very nice. Okay, but this is for tier 3. We knew already that, you know, there will be a lot of nerfs, there will be a lot of changes. But they as well added in a holding nerf for tier 4, guys. From stages 1 to plus 18 is kind of crazy, guys. So what they did is they added in a flat 20% gold reduction for those honing stages. And as well, on top of that, don't forget, we got the books as well in solo mode shop for plus 18. So what this means, guys, is that it's going to be a lot cheaper to hone all your alts to a minimum of plus 18 together with 20 advanced honing, which we'll see here, right here as well. The growth support effects applied to advanced holding 1 to 20, and these are crazy as well. Oh my god. So we have ourselves a 90% reduction in the required fragments and ceiling in states to 1 and 2. So what this means is just the starting materials, so the echidna eyes, all that kind of stuff, have been reduced by 90%, which is insane, guys. So what this technically just does, it makes that advanced honing is just as cheap as normal honing, or even cheaper. So this is the first thing you're gonna do once you reach tier 4. Then as well, they have a 70% reduction in material requirements when attempting advanced reforged stages 1 to 20. So that of course means like when you're just doing the tappies, there's a 70% reduction in materials as well. Very, very, very cool. And then it's the same thing in here, like the amount of silver and shards is 90% reduced as well. So it is shards and silver 90% reduction. It is material 70% reduction and 90% reduction of like the echidna eyes, etc. And as well the shards when you are opening up the advanced honing. And then as well, gold has been nerfed by 50%. So this is going to be so much cheaper to get 1 to 20 advanced honing. And on top of that, these scrolls you can get every single time from your solo mode store every single week, or whatever boxes you already have ready. It is going to be incredibly cheap to do this. So that means, guys, that you're going to be able to do advanced honing all the way to plus 20 and your gear to 18. I think you end up at 1710 that way, or 1730. No, 1710, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's one of the two, 1710, 1730. But that means that all your alts are going to go from like a lower stage to a higher stage. So they really want to push you forward, that you're going to be able to go ahead and hone your whole roster to a good state. The reason for that, of course, we'll see a little bit later. So they added as well a little bit of changes for the Arcturcent, which is like the support, like the Mokoko buff kind of stuff inside of the raid. So they added some extra raids in there. They added as well hard difficulty for Mortem. So you know, it's fine. We don't really care about this too much. So we're gonna go ahead and continue a little bit more. There's one small change in here which is interesting in my opinion. It is a karma nerf. Again, again, why were all these things not announced in low on? People would have been a lot more excited, especially in the West, knowing all these numbers, like, from low on. But as well, they nerfed karma tapping by 200 gold. So that's actually kind of nice, as well as a new research inside of your stronghold to increase some success and stuff. But we have the removal of growth vectors, which just means that the Elixir and Transcendance have been removed and put into your Arc passive. And there's some other things in here. So it is literally just a copy paste. You just click one button and you get the same stuff. Okay. All the stats as well from Transcendance have just been put on your armor. And it seemed that people said that you actually get quite a lot of free like CP from this. So I don't actually know, but people were something saying like you got like they got like a free like 250 CP or something from this system. So if we see that everyone's CP is going to be a lot higher, it is just simply because of this system. All this kind of stuff is all not interesting. Besides that, if you want, of course, pause the video and read it, feel free to do that. But yeah, there's nothing interesting or new in here. There's, well, of course, improve the character creation process, so you can now play your character inside of the creation screen, so you do not have to test it afterwards. So you can just click the class, and you can then just test the class, which I think is pretty cool. But nothing else in here was changed. There's, well, like, after choosing your class, you can then apply your power pass. So before, right now, of course, you apply your power pass before you choose a character, but you can go through the whole character creation process, etc., and then you apply the power pass, which I think is pretty cool. There's also now a new ancient training ground where you can test your character if you power passed, and this is like a one-time thing where they try to explain their class to you, which I think is pretty cool. But you know, we don't have this. I've not seen this yet, anyone do this, so I do not know if it's good or bad. So up next we have ourselves the new achievement slash guide tutorial system. It's going to be called the Milestone System. So this technically is very simple. There's a new button in the top right, and it's just a bunch of guides. And if you do the guides, you get points, and if you get enough points, you get yourself the rewards. But what's actually really cool, which they didn't really explain before, is that it's a character-by-character basis. So every character is going to get all of these 8 pages of rewards, which is very, 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 very good. So I think that's really nice, because I expected this thing totally to be roster-bound, but it is just a character-bound thing. And it seems that they actually will give a lot of XP, by the way, because I saw that someone claimed like a mission, and they instantly got like a level 70. So this could be very good, that this guide system means that you just immediately can get level 70 without any worry inside of Lost Ark. I think that's actually going to be very, very good. They as well show that there's now the weekly Una tasks are in the second tab, and you can see these rewards right here if you get enough points, which is, I think, is very, very good. So yeah, they're just moved inside of here. So if you're missing your weekly Unas, they're in the second tab on the new weekly mission section. We have the recommended skill feature. If you guys didn't know, you can now copy a full build, including engravings, gems, presets, etc. Very, very nice. You can even share it with your friends due to a handy link. Okay, nothing too crazy about this, so it's still very, very nice. But we're gonna go to the juicy content. Okay, guys, the weekly content reward adjustments. Of course, these are the gold nerfs. One big thing to note about this is that we are always behind on these compared to Korea. Korea already had a nerf before these ones on some content, which we still haven't even gotten yet. So yes, we can get gold nerfs, but there's a bigger chance that we are getting the ones before this one, because some of these are actually really, really huge. So you can see, for example, that the Mortem hard modes went from like 2011-7 to 14.85, which is a very, very big nerf. It goes from 38k gold to 29, so a 9,000 gold nerf. Okay, so you can see these are all the things. So this is Mortem, this is Mortem normal, Brel normal, Aegir normal, Behemoth, and then as well Echidna. Okay, so these are the changes to the golds. Okay, one thing to keep in mind. Okay, one thing to keep in mind is that they nerfed the gold by 20%. Okay, to hone your alts above this stage of the game. But they nerfed this gold reward by almost 30% in some cases. So you can see that they want you to move on. They don't want you to stay still as a 1680 pleb farming gold. They want you to hone to 1700 plus, get to over to, you know, the Kezeros raid, get over to that new raid as well coming out for Korea in the January. So they want you to move on and get out of these old raids, pump up those rosters, and earn gold better there. So that is what they want to do. This is what I'm saying. This is their secret hidden thought behind all these updates. They want people to move on and stop rice farming, which is called that people are just standing still and just making gold. They want people to move on, move on, move on, move on, stop staying on low levels, and just go to the end game. So up next, we have the content reorganization. This is a really, really, really big and important part of the changes happening with this update. So keep paying attention. First of all, Ivory Tower, Thay Mine, and normal mode Echidna will now, after you reach tier 4, get to give you tier 4 materials. Very, very, very good. So this is a W, guys. But up next, guys, is a very big change, and people that hate doing Guardians, welcome to your biggest nightmare. First of all, Guardian Stones and Destruction Stones from Cursed Front and Chaos Dungeon have been changed from tradable to character-bound items, and the quantity obtained has been increased. The amount of obtained increased, I do not know currently. There's not enough info there right now, but everyone's just working on their new characters. They're not really doing Chaos Dungeons, but this means that currently every single drop from Chaos Dungeons, etc., is roster-bound tradable. All of these will become character bound, so you cannot funnel your alts into your main into your alts, whatever you have. Everything is just going to be character bound. Okay. This thing has a very, very, very big impact, because of course this means that a lot of items are going to become very scarce suddenly, because everyone was able to trade their reds and blues. They could make money from them, they could do stuff with them, they could trade over them, and now suddenly they are all not anymore. So all the future drops you would get from Chaos and Guardians are now character bound. But what does this mean in the grand scheme of things? Something that a lot of people didn't think about is that this technically means that there's hardly any sources of tradable reds and blues. So eventually we're gonna come to a point where we run out of these items that are tradable, because the tradable sources are gone. There's still a few small other ones, technically 2, but those are way lower quantities than they currently are. And of course, we'll check in a second what impact this already had on our markets. So up next, the reforging materials obtained from the Fade Embers that appear to in the Cursed Front and Chaos Dungeons have been changed to be from character bound to tradable. So if you remember the chest that gives you reds, blues, like leap stones and shards, that will now be tradable, and including the shards will now be dropped in shard pouches, which are tradable. So this is one of the 2 forms of reds and blues that's actually tradable, because all the other ones are untradable. So getting this Fade Ember, which used to be the worst one, is now actually really PogChamp. One thing I do not know, and it's not really mentioned in this post, is that if you know that there's sometimes as well the Blessed Embers, and you as well have yourself the weekly chests, they can drop the same kind of chest. I wonder if those are now tradable as well, but that's not mentioned in this post, so we'll have to see about that. Okay, so this is a really big one, okay? Up next, change to Cursed Front and Chaos Dungeon to no longer provide the following items: gems, accessories, bracelets, and ability stones. Okay? So, what did they do? Very, very simple. They now separate the content pieces, okay? So they made it that Chaos Dungeons and Cursed Fronts only give reds, blues, and the leap stones and shards. Those 4, and that's it. Fade Embers, of course, as well. They can drop other stuff, but we don't care about those. Those 4 items. Then the Guardian raids is going to drop the other half. They're going to drop the gems, accessories, bracelets, ability stones, and of course, Fade Embers and reds and blues in a small amount as well, but increased for this update to character, of course. So they're now just separating those things. So everyone, guys, you're going to have to do your Guardians. Because this means that if you want to earn gems at all, you have to do Guardians every single day. Okay. In accordance to the removal of the growth method for reforging tier 3 tier, there's some change to the Chaos Dungeon, so, you know, this is a bit whatever. This is whatever. Okay. Guardian Subjugation. Add the ability to obtain gems from your Guardian tier from Guardian Trails. Added the ability to get shining gem fragments. Accessories, bracelets, ability stones have been slightly increased. And the following materials will no longer be obtained from Guardian materials. Actually, sorry. So there's no more destruction stones and Guardian stones from Guardian raids at all. Okay. So I thought they would still be in there, but they're not in here. So they're strictly now only from Chaos Dungeon. So Reds, Blues, Chaos Dungeon, all character bounds unless you get a Fade Ember. Guardian raids have the rest of the stuff. 2 systems. As well, the reforging materials obtained from the Fade Ember have been changed to be tradable. So the same as the Chaos Dungeon. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting things with this. But it's not all hope is gone. Chaos Gate added the ability to obtain character-specific gold when clearing Chaos Gate. Clearing high-level Chaos Gates will grant you more character-specific gold. So this means, of course, that if you are doing Chaos Gates, you can get yourself gold. Very, very nice. Okay, very, very good. So there's now as well some changes to which eye levels are available for Chaos Gate. So it's just there. Field Boss. The number of the Guardian and Destruction Stones when defeating the South Curzon boss has been increased. And this is a big one. This is source number 2 of tradable Guardian and Destruction Stones. The World Boss. And there are more quantity drops as well. We do not know how many. We will see that, I think, tomorrow for the first time in KR. But yeah, that's been changed as well. So this shows, guys, that now the whole source of tradable Guardian and Destruction Stones, right, are from Chaos Dungeon, Guardian, and Field Boss currently, right? And that's thousands and thousands of stones every single day. Those are all gone, and you can only get the small amounts from the boxes that are tradable and the field bosses. And that's it. So you can imagine that it's probably this amount before and this after. Maybe even this. So it's going to be very important that you're going to do your dailies. And we're going to see that the price is probably of the markets. Not right away, maybe. But eventually are going to become a lot higher. Because eventually the amount is going to run out. Okay? So that is very, very, very important to know. And to that, of course, we have ourselves some ebony change cubes changes. Nothing too interesting in here. We have just the Book of Coronation content, that some stuff's going to be removed and changed, blah, blah, blah. Tower has been removed. Like, nothing really too interesting about this, unless you're like a big Hell enjoyer. You're just going to have to wait until Hell returns. Then we have also the class balance patch, guys. I will say that these are mostly, but not only, art grid changes, and there is some changes as well to people's base, like, stuff as well. I will say that, in my opinion, there is some things in here that are definitely missing. And you can see that they do not have a full grip on how everything is performing, in my opinion, but it is a little bit what it is. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to leave this post as well in the comment section down below, because there is so many art grid changes and so many things, and you probably just want to take a look at your own classes, so be sure to take a look at the link in the description down below. I did want to shine some lights on this at the start right here. This is going to be 2 changes to the arc passives for Blunt Thorn and Sending Striker. So Blunt Thorn gets a 5% damage boost. I don't actually know if this number change from 10% makes it that it's a bit easier to cap Blunt Thorn. So it could be that like you need a little bit less crit rate or the same crit rate as one of the two to reach the 75%. But I didn't do the math, I'm sorry, myself, to make sure that it is there. So of course, if you can, let me know in the comment section down below if this changed the 8, like what is it, like 119% crit rate or whatever it is, to cap this. If that's like lower now or not, but at least we got just a flat 5% damage increase. That's maximum, which is very good. Sending Striker was actually kind of interesting, because what it did is, of course, like Sending Striker gave you damage based on stacks, and if you got either para-immune or pushed, then you would lose stacks. So what they did, guys, is very simple. It is just that instead of losing 1 stack when you're para-immune, you just do not lose stacks anymore on para-immune. So you still lose stacks on push-immune, you still lose the 3 stacks on push, but it just removed the 1 stack loss on para. So, pretty good. Not bad at all. like I said, all the rest of here is just going to be arc grid stuff, arc grid changes. You can see some classes have received tremendous amount of changes and things, and some of them are, you know, more questionable than others. And some classes got like hardly anything. For example, for me personally, I was really hoping for some really good bar changes, and we got absolutely nothing. So it's a main swap angle, very fun. But you know, like some classes got like really cool changes. I think Slayer got, for example, some really good stuff. But like I said, guys, this post will be in the description down below or in the comment section as well. And if you want to check out your own class and see if anything changed for you, then feel free to do that. And hopefully your dreams came true with this balance patch. But I will just say, there's nothing too crazy about this one, in my opinion. The only really big one is that the DPS artist now no longer rides on her cows on the T-skills. Nifa, goodbye cow riding. It was fun while it lasted. I'm moving past the balance patch. Of course, hopefully you found something in there that was useful for you. There now, of course, is some more convenience features. So they added in that you now, of course, can have timestamp tappies on free tappies, honing tappies, etc., and quality tappies. One thing to note about this one as well is if you succeeded before the 10 taps, it will not use the materials for the one. So it's not that you're like gonna have to pay 10 taps. It just does 10 taps in a row. And if you succeeded on the 7th tap, you will save the last 3 taps of materials. Very good to know as well. So that is in there. We as well have ourselves the Karma has the same timestamps button, and we have the auto stone cutting feature. They were downplaying this feature, guys, really hard on low on, like, oh yeah, if you're going for a 9-7, you probably shouldn't use the system. We've seen numerous like tens to maybe hundreds of insta-click 9-7s appearing. It seems that getting a 9-7 is so gosh darn easy with this new system that it's definitely going to be the new standard for people, that everyone's going to get a 9-7. So thumbs up for this big new AI feature. I really hope we're getting this next week. I do not have hope we're getting it, but I really hope we do, because this thing is absolutely crazy. So if you are doing your hell keys, please save your stones right now. You're gonna almost, like, I would say if you have like 100 to 150 stones, you probably have a guaranteed 9-7, because this thing is crazy. But you can even set it up that it can go higher than it. So you can set it up that it wants to go for a 9-7. You can even go for like a 9-9 or a 10-10, and I'm pretty sure people are going to go for that as well. It is like a very, very, very cool system. They can just choose. You can see it right here. It's not translated, but you can just choose how many points you want to go for. It is absolutely goated. It's such a good system. So yeah, that's going to be hopefully added soon as well. There's a new notification feature right now for expiring items. So sometimes you, of course, see that some items have expired and you didn't know they would expire. There's like a super small red dot on your like consumption if it will go away, but now it will give you a pop-up of items that will be like disappearing pretty soon. I think that's very, very nice. They added in intelligent upscaling features. So this is just like increased graphics with upscaling. I have not seen anyone use this, or the things are just so neglectable and changed that I've not noticed it on any stream. So we'll have to see it ourselves when we get this feature. But this technically is just AI upscaling. So we'll have to see how that's going to go when we get it. But yeah, we have ourselves, of course, the Argos event, but we don't really care about this. We are not having this. So we'll maybe get it, but probably not. We have the other shop, which we don't care about. Okay. This one's very important, guys. The Winter Mokoku Challenge Express and the jumping tickets. Okay, so here we have ourselves a new express for this update. This one's very interesting to see. Is that after the jumping tickets, you will immediately be 1640. So what this means, guys, they added in a new power pass. Yeah, so the power pass is now here for 1640. You use it, boom, you're instant 1640, and that's why as well the Mokoku Challenge Express starts off at 1640. We will see right here. So the Mokoku Challenge Express is here, of course, from this date to this date for them, so it doesn't really matter. We have starting off at 1640 and goes to 1700. So if you are above 1700, guys, you cannot use the Mokoku Express on that character, so keep that in mind. And as well, you get sell some rewards, blah blah. You cannot you can be changing the Express if you want to, as long as you have not honed on the character. So if you buy some miracle misclick, and you can still change the character as long as you do not hone. I think you can as well always do this to claim some rewards on another account. So if you use this on like a 1700 before, claim some rewards. As long as you just do not hone, you can then swap this event to another account and do that as well. Which could be very interesting, because there of course is with this Mokoku Challenge Express that you get yourself level 7 gems from some of the rewards, right? You can get level 7 gems, but then now is the gold shop as well, which holds 5 7 gems. But if you buy the new premium version of this Mokoko Challenge Express, you get 9 7 gems and you get 2 8s, which means technically that if you would buy those 20k level 7s, you would be at 14 level 7 gems, which is way too many. So what you could technically do is go to an alt at 1700 or below that doesn't have a full set of 7s. You could claim those 5 7s or whatever amount of 7s you can get from the Mokoko Challenge Express, and then move the Challenge Express to the new character, and then you just buy those 5 20k gold ones, and then both of your accounts can enjoy a nice full 7 set. So I think that's probably a poggy idea, so if you want to copy that, feel free to do that. Alright, so we ourselves, what are the supports for this event? So it gives you various items needing for the growth to 1700. The items are kind of insane, by the way, like a lot of gold, a lot of things. So as well, there's some extra reductions for the honing, so there's extra double basic success rate, 40% more experience, 40% less experience required, which is like the shards and stuff, like all the breakthroughs, all the silvers, all the fragments are reduced by 40%, 6% gold reduction, 40% gold reduction, and like there's so many like reductions in advanced honing as well, which is really good. So it makes it that you can advance hone and normal hone with this express, which we've never seen before. We've only always just had regular honing nerfs. We never had advanced honing nerfs, but now with this express we get advanced honing nerfs as well. So literally every character can instantly get to 1710. Like there's almost no excuse that you do not have enough materials to get this character all the way to like end game right now. It's just very, very good. So of course there's some mini raids you have to do. We don't really care about this too much. We as well got ourselves some separate difficulties from single mode, of course. So if you are doing these challenges, you don't have to worry that it's going to use your gold earners, but this is all like kind of basic stuff we've already seen from before. So of course there is a premium product, guys. It is very, 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 very good. Here's an explanation page of the Mokoko Express. Of course some of this stuff is in Korean. I'm sorry about that. It just doesn't translate the images, you know. So you can see that, you know, you're gonna have the details, you're gonna have what you have to do, and then you're gonna have the rewards on the side. You can see the purple section is going to be the one that requires you to pay some money. It was around $20 to $25 for the people that are interested for Korea money. Of course we do not know what our price is going to be, but around like 20 to 25. So that is going to be pretty nice to see. So you can see there's going to be rewards in here, like all these shards, all these things, and yeah, it's going to be pretty cool to see all of the stuff that we're gonna get from this event. But yeah, it's pretty juice, guys. It's pretty juice, especially if you're buying yourself the premium option. Okay, we as well have ourselves a new arc pass. Very cool skin. I've seen it in game as well. There's a black version as well. This skin is very beautiful in the black version. But yeah, we'll see ourselves the arc pass coming with that. PC room, we don't really have this, so we'll maybe see the skins, but you know, we can just move past this. Up next, guys, I think this is the last section, the improvement and fixes. First of all, guys, Act 3 Mortem changes to hard and normal difficulty, slightly reduced the damage and disarm requirements for some patterns. So this means like the stagger checks has been reduced, which is very, very cool. We also have some new warnings on the normal difficulty for the attack ranges, which can be pretty cool. And as well, the boss health has been lowered for hard mode. So they nerfed the gold, right? They added solo mode, but they just made everything so much easier. Literally, everything is so much easier. And here we have some big changes, guys. Gate 1, guys, for hard and normal difficulty, remove the silence when applying the weaken debuff to a character. So if you guys don't know, of course, at the start of Mortem, Gate 1, if you get hit by those red lines, you get hit with a silence. You get hit with the weaken debuff as well, which of course reduces your stagger, but the silence effect is the bigger kicker because you cannot use your spells. This silence now has been removed. Very, very nice. So we have ourselves Gate 2. There will be some patterns that the boss cannot use or fast enough, so that's just mainly just like he's just becoming less annoying. That the boss now doesn't recover health after the times 100 bar, which is going to be very, very good. For Gate 3, there is some change in here as well. This one's a little bit weird, as the health of the current sphere summoned by Mortem before engaging in a duel has been with a random target has been lowered. So it seems that you can now maybe kill the orb like manually. So if you miss the laser on the orb, you can just kill it. Interesting thoughts, but yeah, this is probably what this means. As well, the gauge that if someone turns, of course, you get like a blue or red circle around you with electricity. It's now giving you 50% less gauge. Very good, especially for those very big criminals. As well, there's some projectiles and stuff that's been reduced. It's just like everything has been a lot easier. Mortem has become a cakewalk with this update. So some buff changes, some other things. You can read them if you want to. Nothing too crazy about this, in my opinion. Arc rate changes are not interesting. We have a cells system change. You can now sort the way that your runes are shown, which I think is pretty cool. You can always use 2 times tickets and you don't have to re-click it. It will just remember it. And some other things in here which are not that interesting. If you want to read them, of course, feel free to. And I think that is most of the cool stuff. There now is a recent auction tab inside of the market. There as well as now, of course, with the removal of the battle items. If you guys didn't know that Gate 1 of Belshazzar has had the flame scrolls removed, and Gate 2 of Mordem as well. Now you can get yourself the flame scrolls for free by just interacting with the brazier, which I think is pretty cool. And yeah, that's kind of it. There's nothing else too crazy in here. There's now a little button that shows you your paradise amounts if you've done your 5 out of 5 Elysians. And yeah, I think that is, to be honest, it. So of course, if you want to read more of the details, the link is in the description down below. But that should be everything. So, like, you know, a bit of a long video, sorry about that, but there's just so many changes and so many things I had to let you guys know. And yeah, so hopefully you guys are kind of happy with the changes. I am not happy with my personal balance patch, but it is what it is. I think all the other stuff is kind of good. I want people to move on. I want people to be able to hone and do stuff, and we'll have to see what kind of impact it will have on the reds and blues. I will quickly right now go over and check out in-game for us right now on EU. I did do a lot of shopping yesterday. I saw this post go live. I read the changes. I went online and I bought millions of reds and blues instantly, because I knew they were gonna go up really hard. So if we go take a look at the destruction stones right now, you can see that they went up already from 145 average to 185 average. And I think still people do not understand the severeness of this patch when it's gonna come to us. And I am pretty sure there is, like, of course there's a small chance we are not getting this, but there's probably we're just gonna get this, because this is just a core integrity thing on the game. We are probably gonna get this. So I'm thinking these things are gonna definitely go to like probably 250 or even 300 back up there, especially with like the new classes. Think about that people will need to re-hone their characters in the future. So like a lot of people are done right now with the plus 25s, but when we get ourselves these Circa balls in like probably first like March or April, whatever it is for us, or June, we will need to re-hone our weapons to 25s, and then people will need the stones once again. And then we have the Guardian stones as well, and those went from an average of 3.6 to like average recent price is 5. I think there's still some bots probably selling them like pretty low, but you can see they went up a bit as well. They went to more like 7 average, because this whole stack used to be on 5 gold yesterday, and it's now on 7 gold. So yeah, even those went up like quite a bit, guys. It's like almost like a 40% increase, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, guys, that is gonna wrap it up for me. If you guys did enjoy these patch notes, let me know in the comment section down below that you guys get some good changes in the art grid or some bad changes. Are there maybe some art grids you think like, oh, I'm now definitely playing this class or not? Let me know in the comment section down below as well. Thanks so much for watching, and see you guys again soon for another video. Take care.